First off, I am going to admit that this game, in my opinion, considering what I expected it to be, I do think it was very, very underwhelming. I was expecting there to be more goals. I was expecting there to be really a lot better play. To be honest, there was good play in like sections of the game, but overall, I do think it was incredibly underwhelming, and I don't really think both teams played all that well, especially going forward. So, jumping straight into the first half, not too much happened, to be honest. Both teams also didn't really create much. They did create some things, but it wasn't really anything clear cut that you would really expect them to finish. So the first thing really of note that happened was when Nunez ran like straight into Johnny Evans. He didn't look for the ball, he just ran straight into him, took him out, and then when he got a yellow card, he was smiling about it, acting like he'd done nothing. And this is one thing that just really irritates me. When a player commits a foul or like a really, really dirty kind of hooliganistic play, and then when they get the foul called on them or they get a yellow card, they just walk off, smile and act like they did nothing. That really smug kind of expression irritates me, because there's no need for that in the game. You are, well, people look up to you and they will copy that. So I do really think that that's just unacceptable, if I'm being honest. And then the next thing, I thought the Mainu yellow card was a bit harsh, to be honest. I think he did get a bit of the ball, but he didn't directly put the player in really, really bad danger. So I do think he could have I don't know if let him off would have been a good term to use, but I do think he could have just given the foul and not given him the yellow. Yes, it could have been a dangerous play, but it wasn't a dangerous play. I think he did slightly get the ball and he did take the player out. So under the rules, it is technically a foul, but I think, as I said, a yellow card is very, very harsh in that situation. And I think another annoying thing is referees will pick and choose when they give yellow cards for situations like that, and there's no consistency with it, to be honest. So I do think that in another situation, Mainu wouldn't have got a yellow. He might not have even got a foul in some situations. So yeah, I do think that was incredibly harsh. So going through to more about the actual play then, United went through a period where they just kept on giving the ball back to Liverpool. It wasn't like they were deliberately doing it, obviously, but they kept on having misplaced passes that went to Liverpool players, passes that they were trying to put through that just weren't on, and Liverpool kept on getting the ball back through a little period of that first half. And then this just put Man United under more and more pressure. They're lucky that Liverpool didn't really create anything clear cut from this, because they would have been in big, big trouble. But I don't think... It just baffles me that they would just give the ball away so easily at Anfield, knowing just how good Liverpool are. And I think they were quite lucky that Liverpool weren't on their game on the night, because the amount of chances Liverpool had that they could have put away, they usually would have at least put one away, was quite incredible. So moving on to the best chance of the first half for Liverpool, this was where a corner kick was taken and Van Dijk jumped up, headed the ball. I do think it was quite a powerful header, so Onana ended up tipping the ball over the bar. I don't think he could have caught it because of how powerful the actual header was, but it was a good chance for Liverpool, and really that was the best chance of the entire first half. I do think Onana did well to actually see it, because it was a powerful kind of quick header, so all he could do was stick his hands up and hope it goes over the bar, which it did. So after this, really, Liverpool started to put the pressure on at the end of the first half. However, they didn't really create much, really kind of like what they'd done through the first half. So going into half time, I do think Liverpool had the better half overall, but they couldn't really create a clear-cut chance, which is what I expected them to do coming into the second half. Talking about coming into the second half, Liverpool started going forward really, really well. However, again, they weren't creating much. So really they did kind of half of what I expected, which was they were going to come at Man United, but I thought they were going to create a lot more chances, especially early on. So I think also the fact that Liverpool broke away a few times, however, the Man United defence, players like Diego Dalot, were getting back to kind of cut off that breakaway, so Liverpool really couldn't create that clear-cut chance that they needed to go in front. And this really comes across to another point I've got. I do think Man United really did defend well. However, they didn't go forward as well, which is a shame, because they could have nicked a win here. Like, really easily could have nicked a win, considering how badly Liverpool were playing. And then going on to Man United not going forward very well. United's best chance here, well, one of their best chances, Mainu puts through Garnacho, but as he was going forward, he just couldn't finish it, and I think that might be a bit of a problem going forward for United, because they get these really good chances, they go through and they just can't finish them. And Garnacho is one of those young players coming through, he's doing really well, but in those types of situations you need those top class players that have the experience and can go through and finish it. To be honest here, just like Dalot did for United, I think Liverpool got back and defended this quite well, but I think I think Garnacho could have done better with this. However, it was a sign that Man United were going forward and they were creating chances, which is a positive. So after this, the game really started to open up, and Salah got away, to be honest, a pretty good shot from his position. It wasn't like right in the corner of the goal, but it was kind of off to that area, and Onana did manage to get across and make a very good save as well. So Man United and Liverpool both going forward, starting to create some pretty good chances, which is what everyone expected from the start. So now the game is really opening up. And then after that, we had one of the most out of the blue chances of the game, where Salah played a ball to Alexander-Arnold and he just hit it, and the ball then ended up just hitting the outside of the post and going out. So very, very close to just getting a goal out of the blue and out of nowhere. Plus Onana, I don't think he really saw it. He didn't move, to be honest. So Onana was not getting towards that. But unluckily for Liverpool, ball hits the outside of the post and goes out. But I think that was a bit of a wake-up call to United as well, that Liverpool just out of nowhere could have put the ball in the back of the net. And then after that, Man United responded with Højlund being played through. However, once again, a young Man United player not being able to have that cool, calm and collected kind of presence to just finish a chance. Højlund was played through and he ended up hitting the ball straight at Alisson. So I think Alisson did well there to come out and make himself look big to put Højlund off. But then again, I do think United should have finished that chance off, and they could have easily, through a couple of those chances that I've just mentioned, could have easily have nicked the game. But one of the most confusing parts of the game was when Liverpool were going forward, a cross was played in, and there was a collision between a few Man United players and Diaz, who did go down, but it wasn't a penalty. No way it was a penalty, because it was a collision and a Man United player knocked the ball away and they all just collided. However, Núñez missed a golden opportunity when he stopped, when the ball was just rolling away from the goal. He stopped to appeal a penalty where he could have at least tried to have got to the ball, because as all the players were on the ground, including the goalkeeper Onana, the goal was open. I'm not sure if he would have been able to get to the ball, but he could have at least tried to get to the ball, because that was a real golden opportunity that was missed by Núñez just trying to appeal for a penalty. I mean, I think the whole concept of playing on until the whistle needs to be implemented more, because there are games that are drawn where things like this happen and the team doesn't win because someone's trying to appeal for a penalty that they never get. So after this, Liverpool really started going forward and putting Man United under a lot of pressure, and then there was a handball appeal on Luke Shaw with a ball crossed in, but when it went to VAR it showed that it hit off Shaw's body up onto his arm, which he was trying to move away. So obviously no penalty. That is never going to be given as a penalty, and neither should it. And then after this, Liverpool started pushing forward near the end, not really creating too much again. And then near the end of the game, the ball goes out off Salah, but it's given to Liverpool. And then Diogo Dalot ended up getting a red card for basically having a go at an official, which I really don't understand this. I think this is probably one of the most pathetic red cards I have ever seen in my life. This made utterly no sense. He was shouting at the ref. Yes, he probably shouldn't have said whatever he said, but the stupid thing is, refs let players get away with this all the time. So why are they doing this now all of a sudden? They are now picking and choosing when they're going to crack down on players shouting at them. You either do it all the time or you don't do it. So I think, depending on what he said, the red card was incredibly unjustified. If he was just having a go for the wrong decision being made, then why does he get 2 yellow cards? Maybe just give him a yellow card. Or if he's just moaning at the ref because the wrong decision was made, you can't really do anything about that. So I think the Dalot red card was really just completely unjustified. At most it should have been a yellow, but giving 2 yellows because he had a go at you, I just hate it how officials will just implement the rules when they feel like it. They'll implement it for certain players and certain teams. So after this, the game ended up concluding at a 0-0 draw, which I kind of see that as being a fair result, a draw, because both teams didn't really play outstandingly well and not many chances were made. However, I do think both teams overall did play quite poorly. Their defences were very good, but the attack was just pretty bad, to be honest. And yeah, both teams did defend well, but overall, looking at the game, I do think it was just a game of half chances, and overall one of the teams couldn't take one of those half chances, which usually does happen when two teams like this meet. However, it didn't happen this time, and it ended up being a 0-0 draw. Quite underwhelming considering what this fixture usually is like, but that's how the game went, and it's in the books now. So those are my thoughts, kind of a bit of a recap over the game. What do you think about this game? Do you think it was underwhelming like I did, or do you think it wasn't as underwhelming as I thought it was? Leave all that down in the comments. If you liked my little review of the game, leave a like, and if you like videos like this, subscribe, because I make videos like this every now and then. So yeah, thank you for listening to the video, and hopefully I will see you in the next one.